We continue with the coverage of our second Discord tournament. In this game, it was round 1 of the loser's bracket, and it was AD with white versus the BC Wonder with black. In this position, the BC Wonder with black played e5, and this was a mistake, and AD took advantage of that. He went here with a clear threat of forking king and rook. And here the BC Wonder played something interesting. He went over here. So now he was probably counting on his opponent having some tunnel vision and going here for this anyway, completely disregarding the fact that the bishop is under attack. Here the best move according to the computer would be to castle over here with check, or you can just simply move this rook over here. Still, of course, taking here is still fine, but it's not even one of the 4 or 5 best moves in the position. Actually, it's much better to take over here, because you still grab a pawn, and you also save your bishop from the attack of the knight, and you would leave this knight here on the rim, which would be a good thing. However, AD got some tunnel vision. He went here. He's still much better, but it's already a little bit inaccurate. And after this, taking the rook actually leaves black with the advantage, because this knight is going to be trapped in the corner, and you're definitely losing that bishop. So here, what white should do in order to keep the advantage is going here, taking another pawn and protecting the bishop. Instead of that, he went for this, and now black was much better. Then from here, although black is better, the position was alright for white. However, AD played knight d5, again going for this fork of king and rook. Here it doesn't work because the knight takes, and then the knight grabs another pawn completely for free, goes back. Later on, in this position, the BC Wonder could play this move, forking both rooks while grabbing a pawn. It is true that you can screen that knight over there. However, after taking here or here, black has a significant advantage in terms of material. That didn't happen. However, AD blundered the rook right away. Even though it didn't happen, black was still much better. But here, AD just blundered the rook and proceeded to lose from there via promotion with checkmate. That was the first game. Now in their second game, the opening deserves special mention. I know that usually I don't show the openings, but more like the highlights of the match. But here, the opening was a highlight. Look at this. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, defending the pawn. Then the Ponziani with c3 by white. Look at this, knight f6. Okay, you're targeting this pawn. What is white going to do? Is he going to play it like here, here? Is he going to defend like that? No, just take the center. Forget about this pawn. This is all book. Notice here the icon, the chess.com thinks this is all book. I mean, no, it's telling us that it's all book. d5, kicking this knight. Do you have to move the knight? No. Bishop c5, book move. Going after this. Forget about the knight. Now here, white got out of book and went here, which is actually much better for black. When I was watching this, as I watch the games, I don't watch with the engine or anything. I just like to analyze by myself. So when I was looking at this, I was like, oh my god, they're blundering like crazy, right? But no. Up until here, it's all book. And here, white can take, and black goes here. White calmly moves over here. black goes back, and black just gave a piece for 2 pawns, and the fact that the king isn't castled and will never be castled, and also is sort of in a bomb cloud position, blocking the bishop and blocking the queen here. So white has a very uncomfortable position, and black only basically gave a pawn in the process. Now, that wasn't played. Instead, the BC Wonder went here. But up until this point, they were playing all book moves in a pretty weird line, if you ask me. Later in the game, AD with the black pieces gave up a full knight in the middle of the board, so the BC Wonder was up a piece for a long time. However, in this position, things got a little bit more complicated. AD is attacking white's knight, and the BC Wonder decided to defend by attacking black's knight, so that if you take mine, I take yours, and I'm already up a piece anyway. Now, AD went here with check, and after that, set up this discovery over here. Now, let us not forget that this knight is also hanging. So here there's only one move that's really good for white. And that's taking this pawn over here with check so that you win a pawn. You go over here. Now this discovery just isn't there. And of course you can't go here with a knight because there are 2 defenders of that square. In fact, this knight is trapped for the time being. Now, that didn't happen. Instead, the BC Wonder went here. And now this is completely crushing. But it wasn't played either. Then 2 blunders in a row were made by the BC Wonder. Here he's completely winning, because even though this wasn't the right move, after this pawn move, then that's okay. The knight is safe. You can move the king over here. This discovery doesn't work anymore, and you're simply up a piece like before. However, maybe he didn't go here because of this check that looks like a fork. But let us not forget that after f3, you defend against the check, they take the knight, and this knight is trapped. So now king f2, and you just get back the piece, and you're up a piece again. Maybe he didn't like the move because of that. He played here thinking, oh, if you discover something, then I could just take your bishop. However, they completely forgot that the knight can also take, and then you take over here, it's a discovery, so this knight can't be taken, and black is back in the game. Which is what happened. Now, after this, they had only one move, which was king e1. Instead, they played here and blundered mate in 1 with the knight over here and the bishop covering all these squares, when the king can't go anywhere because his own pieces are blocking him. In the 3rd game of the match, the BC Wonder with the black pieces could have played here, taking this pawn, and then after the knight takes, he can go for this fork with a pawn over here, getting back the piece with a better position. However, that's a positional thing. It's not really something that will win the game or anything along those lines. Just give you a good position. He played here, e5, and this wasn't very accurate because of what AD played. He went here, and now here he should have played knight e5 for maximum profit. The position is very difficult to defend there for black, because after you go here, you're targeting this twice, and also this knight is pinned to the rook. So after you go there, the best move for black, according to a computer, is either taking here or taking there. If you take there, then after this, you're hitting this knight and you're also hitting the rook. So black is in dire straits. If you go over here, well, then you just lost an exchange, and again, this is hit. Now that move wasn't played. 80 went here, missing his chance for a really big advantage. And then the position was relatively equal for quite a long time after that. It was in this position in the endgame that 80 blundered the rook, and from there, the BC Wonder proceeded to win quite easily. He delivered mate in this fashion with the rook. The king is covering these 3 squares. The pawn is covering these other 2. There's the bishop covering this one, and the king can't go here because of his own pawn. That concludes the first round of the second tournament of our Discord. Now, there was another game due to happen in the first round of the loser's bracket, which was Electro King 450 versus Mindset. However, Electro King said he was busy and couldn't continue with the event, so Mindset went straight to round 2. Now, if you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting more videos about this. And also, if you want to join our Discord and participate in future events like this one, or just discuss chess in general, the link is in the description below. Bye!